all right, everyone. It has been 2 weeks almost since we last have one of our fresh, brand new shows. I'm back, but more importantly, Jimmy's back from the great Northeast. Welcome back, Jimmy. This is the show of shows from the margins with James Lafont. How are you, Jimmy?
I am doing fine. I went to Maine. I was wearing a jacket in July. The warmest day, it was 78. At night, it would be 56, 55 when I would go out to dinner. So I'm going to say this. Now I know why the rich people of New York spend their summers in Maine. I get it. Okay, I got it. Not a problem. The only thing that surprised me is the comments that they were making. There were nobody from Canada down there this time of the year.
Really?
Yeah. They're pissed off.
Wow.
They're still pissed off with us.
Is that hurting the local economy? I'm
Yes,
sure
it
it
is.
is.
It is. It's
Yeah.
hurting the local economy, but more important, this is like people from Georgia and Florida. We're next door neighbors. We get along. Maine borderlines with Canada. As a matter of fact, there's
Right.
you could drive from Maine to Canada and back in 2 hours. Granted, I'm not talking about Toronto, Montreal. Before somebody said no. I'm saying from the border of Canada's to Maine, you could do it in a couple of hours, and it's really no. They had anti-ice signs in Portland, and they had in Freeport. They had anti-ice signs basically say you're not welcome in here. Don't come in here. But there was nothing that you look at tags and you say, oh look, this. I didn't see a tag from Canada. I parked in the LL Bean Distributor Center in Freeport.
Yes.
I walked through their parking lot, did not see one tag from Canada.
Wow.
And I talked to a couple of people who owns, because in Kenneport, it's all mom pop operated things, and I asked them. They said no, they're not coming, and we're hurting. Okay, so it is interesting, but I had a great time. Otherwise, I had a lot of lobster. I had butter. And I found out that the main chowder is different from
the New England chowder.
Yeah, it's completely different. So
really?
Oh yes. But I had a great time.
Excellent. That's good to hear, Jimmy. Well deserved.
And I know you had a good time in Chicago. Stop.
Yes, I did. I actually wore a heavy sweater in the mornings. When I was there, the first part of my trip, the weather was very nice. It was overcast some days, not too much, but the temperature was very comfortable. That last day, though, full day I was there, woo, the heat turned on in a hurry. But I was able to see family. Was able to sit and relax with my brother and my girlfriend from the neighborhood and watch the White Sox get destroyed by oh geez, it wasn't the Yankees yet. It was, I can't remember, Houston. There we go. It was Houston on Saturday night. However, it was relaxing. Got some exercise in. Didn't eat as much as I thought I would, or eat as much of a variety as I thought I would. I was hoping to eat as much of the Chicago food as I could, but the only Chicago food I ate was pretty much for 2 days, Luminati's pizza and pasta, and the rest was a whole lot of eggs and salad for some reason, and a big bag of popcorn.
So no hot dogs?
I was hoping for one, Jimmy. I was hoping for one. And I was, my mom was hoping that, we would go out and eat, get some ribs, hot dogs, whatever. But I told her, I'm just not feeling it, and just kind of chilling,
Okay.
so maybe the next time maybe get there before the year's over, if not at the beginning of 2027. Depends on if this politics stuff slows down.
Well, now that you say politics slow down, the war is back.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And it's kind of interesting. One side says the other started it. The truth of the matter is that they both have done some strange things, but I have something to question those idiots who really think that we obliterated Iran. If we obliterated Iran, how are they capable of having missiles that kill 4 soldiers? I'm just
Mhm.
asking a stupid question. They don't
Right.
have an air force, they don't have a navy. Yeah, but they have a lot of rockets, and they've been
Yes.
throwing them, and they still do. And we keep saying that we're hitting them and we're taking that out of the picture. But then again, people, it's not me. But if you really, really believe that Donald Trump has never said a lie in his political career, you need to really go and see a doctor. You need to be examined. He's a liar constantly. Yeah, and even the MAGA people know that he lies, but they appreciate what he does or what he doesn't do at times. Okay. But even a hardcore MAGA people that I know, they admit that he lies. So when he says that they want peace, they're not acting like they want peace.
Oh no.
No. And neither do we want peace because the way we're acting doesn't show that we want peace. The thing is, price of gasoline is back up. Price of
Hmm.
everything's going to go up. He's going to go to Congress, and right now, he's got an experience that happened today. He's about to withdraw Todd Blanche's confirmation for Attorney General because he has two Republican Republican senators who have announced they're not going to vote for him. And basically, it is over the issue that they want in writing that the trust fund is over and that the agreement with the Department of Internal Revenue Service that the Trumps can never be investigated is canceled. But
Hmm.
for some reason, the White House is willing to sacrifice Todd Blanche over that. The president announced today that he might be considering withdrawing his nomination and leave him as acting until next year with the hope that the two new senators who are Republicans would vote for him. Well, first of them, they would have to end up in the Judiciary Committee, which they might be new guys. I don't think they're going to. But second, if it's a 50-50 Senate, like a lot of people are predicting, then there is no way Todd Blanche is going to get an appointment because there's other Republicans who have already said they're going to vote against him,
Right.
including Mr. Uh, Paul. Dr. Ron Paul has said he's not. So it is going to be an interesting thing. Right now, there is a war. The war is costing us money. It's not free.
Hmm. True.
It's costing money to the U.S. government. And right now, there is a dispute, which, if our arsenals of weapons have gone down, they're trying to blame that Biden gave weapons to Ukraine. Hey, the weapons that were given to Ukraine were supposedly weapons that we had in abundance, that we really had too many of them, and we given them. The truth of the matter is that we gave a lot of weapons to Israel, which is not disputed. We gave a lot of the interception things were used to favor Israel, which is where theirs were the lowest. And the right now, the other things that we are low on is something that they say we're not, but then they're going rushing to Congress and say, we need $70 billion to replace them. Make up your mind. If we're not low, why do we need $70 billion to replace it? So it's going to be an interesting thing. This nice war that was going to last 2 months, it's about to go into 6 months. Today is the 30th of July.
Yeah.
March, May, April, June, July. We're
Mhm.
entering into the 6th month of the war. And this bullshit, well, Vietnam was longer. Afghanistan. Look, this is each Biden lost votes over Afghanistan. We understand that. Bush lost votes over Iraq. We understand that. Johnson decided not to run for president because of Vietnam. We know that.
Right.
This is Donald Trump's war. He can't blame anybody else. I'm sorry. He started it on his own, and he's going to have to own it on his own.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is that even those who tried to suck up to him and be his allies or whatever, in their mentality, the best they could come up with is a justification for the war. That's an interesting word they have picked. Justification.
Mhm.
Not that we were in imminent danger of Iran attacking us. Because if we were, that might have been a reason, but we're not. They've never
Sure.
had a nuclear weapon to do so. But I want to bring the history correct about their nuclear capability. I'd ask you a
Okay.
question. Who gave Iran the knowledge of how to develop nuclear energy?
If I remember my history correctly, it was United States. We were helping the Shah of Iran um, have the nuclear capacities for consumer use, for lack of a better word, for civilian use, not for military use or weapons grade use.
But we get, hey, this is the instrument. Why am I bringing this up, James? Why? There's a there is the people from, if you remember the last week that I talked to you about how the Trump and his family and his friends have received billions of dollars from Saudi Arabia, and
Yep.
and we wonder what for. They have announced that they're going to give the same thing that they gave to Iran to Saudi Arabia. Now,
Mhm.
bring 4 points I want to bring up. If Biden had done this, or Obama had done this, you MAGA people would be pissed to the max. So I'm going to call you hypocrites. Because he's doing it. Oh, well, it's only for this, for that. 78, that's what we said when we gave it to the Shah. Oh, Saudi Arabia is different. Oh, there could never be a revolt in Saudi Arabia. There could never be crazy people taking over Saudi Arabia. Oh, yes, they can.
Sure.
That's what we thought with the Shah. Oh, he has strong control over his people. That's not going to happen. That's why we could give him this. We're doing this with Saudi Arabia, a country. And let's talk to us. Number two, a country that has enough crude oil to supply itself for the rest of its life at a
Yes.
relatively cheap price.
Sure.
So when they say, well, it's for energy, why? I can understand a country that doesn't have any natural energy that needs it. Okay, I can understand. I really could. But
Okay.
a country that has an abundance of oil that really does not need to go and create energy with nuclear arsenal. Third, we all know that they have put money in the Trump's hand. So if you don't think
Yeah.
that there's something shady here, you're trying to be foolish. But fourth and most important is the point four of that agreement that bothers me the most. Point four of that agreement says limited inspections.
Yeah.
That is the one that scares me the most. We're agreeing not to unlimited or at any time, or we have to let them know when we would like to do an inspection, and they can say yes or no to that request. But This is the problem that I want to bring up because this is the division of the party and of this country. If Obama or Biden had agreed to this, the Republican Party and the MAGA movement would be up in arms. Don't try to pretend that they wouldn't. They would. But because Trump is doing it, MAGA is quiet. They're not saying anything in favor of it. I will give them credit for that, but they're not saying anything against it. This is the problem of our division. If our leader says, we're going to do this, and that's our party, yay. If this leader says, we're going to do this, as the opposition, he's wrong. Now, do I think that this is what he's doing is wrong? Yes, but for a different reason. I don't really have a concern. I do have a concern about the limited inspections, and I have a concern that if someday the regimen falls or changes, and by the way, for those of you who do not know this, the current prince took out his brother.
Yes, he did.
Okay, so don't tell
MBS.
that this cannot happen. Okay, he
MBS.
took out his brother. Okay, that's one. Two, this is the prince who killed one of our newspaper people and one of our U.S. citizens.
Journalists,
So
yes.
don't tell me that he's a nice guy. Bullshit. Okay, but the thing that also bothers me, if you don't think there was corruption in here, that the president's son-in-law was given $1.2 billion by the Saudis because he's cute, or because he has a great investment company that nobody else invests in but Saudi Arabia. Okay, I have a bridge over Lake Okeechobee. I'll send it to you for $1,000.
Sure.
Two, we know that they have invested strongly in Trump's Bitcoins. What for? Bitcoins are not an investment. Bitcoins are a transfer of money. Okay.
Store of value.
Yeah. But so the truth of the matter is right now, that is a concern. And the biggest concern to me is once one side does something, there's another side doing something else. Having said that,
okay.
Any comments?
I do want to touch on this, and then you were talking about some other things about the war, but this is, I think we haven't really talked about the Saudi nuclear deal. My understanding, because when I heard about the deal initially, yes, Trump was hearing it from both sides, and I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, there's more to this. It's like knowing Trump, there's more to this. And,
oh no, they paid him off. There is.
Oh yeah, they beat him up over this, and I was like, David, before
no, I mean the Saudis paid him off.
Oh, I don't have evidence of that, and we can discuss.
Oh, I do.
That,
but why would they buy Bitcoins? I'm sorry, give me a break. Why did they give Jared $1.2 billion?
Oh, the curry favor with the administration with Trump. Oh, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. And I get, there's a point that I like to make on that later. But the Saudi nuclear deal. Where was I? Oh, why Saudi Arabia and not Iran? And I think in the larger scope of things, I didn't finish my point about Trump getting hit from both sides. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, because with Trump, it's easy to react very quickly to whatever he says or does, or some news out of the administration. And I like to kind of, just be patient and wait for the other shoe to drop. And the other shoe that dropped was the fact that he required in this deal that the Saudis agreed to the Abraham Accords.
Bullshit. That's wrong. That's false.
No, Jimmy. He did later.
Added that.
He did. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Jimmy.
No, but
he added that.
Never agreed to that. And how?
No, right? Exactly. I agree. I agree.
I'll guarantee you that it's going to go through without the Abraham Agreement.
I'll have to disagree, because this is part of the larger larger scheme of things in the Mideast, the Abraham Accords is essentially saying that the
Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Batam, and all those countries are never going to sign. They can't.
well, there
It's
are
political
there are
suicide.
countries that already signed on to it, Jimmy. There are countries who already signed on to it, and they
Okay,
have
the small
agreed.
little countries have. Egypt has not signed.
Saudi Arabia, if they want this
Not signed.
nuclear deal, if they want other things, and this is what Trump is saying. Hey, you sign on to the Abraham Accords. What it
Look,
essentially is saying is that the Arab countries will recognize
with all
that
due
Israel
respect to
has a
you,
right to
David,
exist, and then
David,
Israel has to recognize that
no, no,
the
no,
Arab
no, 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 no.
countries has a right to exist.
He's playing you. Now, you like to wait.
Now,
I understand it. He's reaching agreement with Saudis without the Abraham agreement. Then, 3 days later,
correct?
in one of his crazy rampage that he does, he says, and I'm adding this. Saudi,
Yes,
Saudi Arabia has not agreed to that. And the agreement that is made does not include it. And
correct,
his statement is not enforceable. So basically, what he's
correct.
trying to do is bullshit the world. I'm doing this when he knows he's not going to insist on it. He's not going to get it. So, but he makes you happy because you think in your world that the bullshit that he said, and I'm adding this in, is going to be included. The agreement that stands, that was announced by both countries, does not include the Abraham agreement. And
I
it was
agree.
discussed and it was said it's not going to happen. So you might have a point. Can Trump, and this is something that I'll give you credit. Can Trump say, well, since you won't sign the Abraham agreement, I'll give you $3 billion to back and there's no deal? I don't know. Will he do that? He might.
I doubt it. I doubt it. And that's why I said, Jimmy, that's why I said that let me be patient and wait for the next shoe to drop because again,
But you have to understand that the man bullshit you, and you're thinking that
exactly, Jimmy. That is how he rolls. That is how he plays the game. It is
yes,
the
but
art
he's
of the
not going to
deal,
insist on
Jimmy.
it.
But Jimmy, he'll this is what he's done consistently. He'll set a bar, and he'll keep raising it with the hopes that okay, you got
The
what
hope.
you
Listen
wanted
to
to
yourself.
begin with.
That they might agree to it. The hopes.
Exactly.
They're not going to agree to it. But I'm going to go a step further. Let me tell you who Donald Trump is. He's a bullshitter who signed a memorandum of understanding that 3/4 of what he kept telling us was not in it. And we know that. And it was a signed document to which you cannot add anything else. He keeps telling it, he tells people, this is what I'm doing just to make certain people happy. Right now, you know who does not believe him as to the Abraham agreement?
Who's that?
Israel.
Yeah, they
don't believe it.
will not sign it. They will not sign it. And going back to the MOU, all of Trump's naysayers and even his supporters were saying you're handing over the golden goose to Iran. And when you look at it, yeah, they got a pretty sweet deal. Again, Trump set a bar for them and they blew it. And now we know that you cannot work with certain aspects of the Iranian government, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard.
And to be quite honest,
they're not going to stick to their word.
Yes.
And so now they're going to be punished.
Yes, but no, they're not. That's bullshit.
I think not.
That's bullshit. Right,
Jimmy,
right now,
Jimmy, you got the Kurds. You got the Kurds in the north who are being prepared for regime change. You've got special forces in there. You got the Mossad. You got the CIA, and you've got supporters of
that's the biggest
Trump
bullshit that's been putting out there.
Yeah.
There's no way that is going to happen. There's mention of it, and there's also we had mentioned that the CIA was going to control Afghanistan, and they never were able to. Okay,
the CIA
mentioned that the Taliban was eliminated, which we know that was bullshit.
No,
look, I hate to say this. People are saying this, and I'm going to tell you one thing. I'll bet you another dinner that by January 6th, the anniversary of the invasion of the White House,
J6.
there's no change in Iran. Zero. It's the same revolutionary government. It's the same everything, and nothing has changed. There's no
Okay.
curse coming down. There's no CIA. There's no mass. By the
So yeah,
way, just
I'll
for
look
your
at that.
information, Netanyahu has 2 months left. It's an
Yeah.
election, and he's going to lose it. And the new prime minister of Israel, there's no way he's going to commit one soldier to go into Iraq.
I don't think we're going to have boots on the ground as we did in Iraq. I think, and I like to credit this to historian and also legal or historical analyst Victor Davis Hanson. I think what's happening is that we're seeing that the people of Iran who are not in favor of the current state of affairs being run by the IRGC, the Trump administration is talking to defectors, not the factors, the prince, the Shah, the prince of Iran, and perhaps establishing a shadow government right now, preparing them.
Are you kidding me? The administration, Trump administration, doesn't have the brains to do this. But separate apart from that,
Sure.
do you know what the Iranians fear more than their current government?
What do they fear more than their current government? Being led by another group of fanatics.
No.
What's that?
Being governed by a puppet of Washington. They lived that. That was the purpose of the Revolutionary War. They're not exactly happy with what they have. Look, I'll give you us as an example. Half of this country does not like Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Half of this country, if Donald Trump drops dead right now, would have a party. I'm sorry.
That's true. That's true. That they would.
Okay. Would that translate to us taking arms? Not necessarily. Okay. Second thing, and we have arms. The people in Iran don't have arms. Okay, they have no arms to do a revolution, but that's fine. We don't like to see the millions and millions of people who were out during the funeral, but those people were being paid to do whatever. That's full of bullshit of the MAGA side. The truth of the matter is that they do not want to become a U.S. puppet again. That's it. Okay, so the son of the Shah is nothing more than going back to the period when we were. Oh, we're going to put him over here, and he's going to rule. He's not going to rule. He's going to make you and other idiots think that something's happening, but nothing's happening.
The government, however, Jimmy, what's the alternative? I mean, really, what alternative do the people have? Yes, there are civilians in the government. There are civilians. There are civilians in the government. There are.
I'll give you an alternative.
However, what's that? Well, yeah, what is the alternative?
Look, and I'm saying this very respectfully. Iran hates Israel. Iran does not like us. They have done certain things in Africa and stuff like that, which we can take care of the people in Africa. And for the record, Israel can take care of themselves. Okay? You have dictatorships doing horrible things in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Bhutan, and Egypt, and other countries around the world. And I'm not. Are they as bad as Iran? No. Mm-hmm. But for the last 47 years that they have had their revolution, have they attacked the United States? No. Have they attacked part of Africa? Yes. Have
Sure.
they have they attacked Israel? Yes. But Israel has attacked them back. And the question I'm going to put it back: do we really think that we want to waste our money, our energy, and the lives of our soldiers to try to impose a different type of government on the people of Iran with the hope that it never happens again? I don't know. See, in your mind, you're being kind of naive. We're going to be
No,
able to take them. No. We take them out, and it's the problem solved forever. Look, we put in the Shah, and he was there for 50 years. We put him in, and we supported him. He was there for 50 years, and the people revolted against him. Okay? If we put in a new government, what guarantee do we have that the people are going to accept it? I don't know. Maybe they will, but I don't. Knowing the way that things are in this world, that's being naive to think that it won't happen again. Look, Saudi Arabia is a dictatorship, right? A dictatorship that kills people, that finances
it's a sovereign
9/11,
nation.
and so is Iran. For the record, and so is Iran. So what I'm trying to say,
Is it though?
the Middle East is a lot of complex things. Fixing Iran alone is not going to fix the Middle East, is what I'm trying to get to. Fixing Iran alone is not going to fix the Middle East. There's a lot of people who are very unhappy with Netanyahu in Israel, in the United States, and in other places. Okay? And this is where it is sad to see. But to say, if we take care of Iran, that's going to take care of all the problems in the Middle East, that's nice.
And Iran is just part of the issue. And to address the United States help ushering in a new government, we could look at Venezuela, we could look at Syria as examples where the Trump administration is working with those governments to assure that there is a trans.
Who kill people? And that's beside the point.
Well, yeah, the killings, it's all around. I mean, really, we've done it too.
Well, but however,
Jimmy, if we're saying
what you're looking for is not,
if we're saying that we want to invest in a country's sovereignty and in these endless wars and promote, that that countries should have the ability to run themselves, to rule over themselves. And if the Iranian people are up for that, they should be able to go into the streets like they have and take on the IRGC like they have. They've suffered casualties. There's no doubt about it. We are willing to help. It is
not our problem, David.
So what do we do? What's the end game? What
there is no end game. We started an unnecessary, unwanted, and stupid war. There is no end game.
I disagree.
No, you justify the war. I understand that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there's no justification legally or morally. They were bad country. So is other countries. Right now, we don't have the cojones to take on Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine.
No reason to. There's no reason to take on Russia. That's why Russia's not involved in Iran, nor is North Korea, or nor is China. As a matter of fact, they're actually on our side.
But if you want people to respect sovereign countries, Russia's not done it with Ukraine. So stop the bullshit. Okay? When you say, well, we have to let the people decide, bullshit. The people of Ukraine were very happy. Can we agree on that? With their government. They did not ask Russia to come in and take over. It's not a communist country. It's not a threat to the world. It was not nothing. Russia said, we just want that fucking country. We've got to take it over. Okay, that's okay. We don't have a problem with that. But we do want to change Iran because these people are telling me that this is a justified world. Bullshit. There's problems all around the world. And if you're not going to get involved in one, don't get involved in any. The problem is that he made a bad decision. He thought because some idiot told him that he could get this done in 2 months, and it is going into 6 months, is nowhere close to a solution. He's lied to us about that. They're an indicator. But last week they threw a rocket that killed 4 soldiers. Okay.
Yes.
So let's stop this bullshit that they're. We want to change the government. We want to put a good government in there. Who? That is their decision. Are we going to do it in every country now? Are we going to be invading all these countries with bad governments? No. So, with all due respect to everybody, no. I mean, you want to see the people decide for themselves? I'm going to look at you with a straight face because you have the things up there about anti-Semitism. There's no anti-Semitism in the Democratic Party. What they're calling
Jimmy.
Out, no.
Jimmy,
wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. Let me finish this. Okay. There's no more anti-Semitism in the Democratic Party than there is in the Republican Party. They both are guilty of this. Okay.
It's just that the Democrats are showing it more lately with the Democratic Socialists.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. No. It is bullshit, and let me tell you why. Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Morgan Pierre, and I can keep on going, have a campaign anti-Israel. They have a campaign anti-AIPAC. So for you to say that these 3 in New York are more powerful than these other 5 in the Republican Party is bullshit. So I'm going to have to call you out on that one. Yeah. The Social Democrats, there are, and I'm not going to try to justify it, but they're not all anti-Semitic. They all are also anti bad government, anti-corruption, which we should all be. Look, both parties have their people. That's why it's like, ooh, you're worse than me. That's bullshit. Anybody who's wrong is wrong. Now, the truth of the matter is, like I said for more than 20 times, this is the fault of Netanyahu. Because to take your bullshit of a country being able to govern themselves, he took out Palestine, and he's not allowed them to govern themselves. He's governing in Gaza.
Wait a second. I thought the Gazans voted for their leadership, Hamas.
Yes, but now that he invaded them, he's taking them out, and it's being controlled by Israel. Gaza right now, the Strip, is being controlled by Israel.
Yes, Hamas, for the most part, has been decimated. There's no government left.
Well, yes,
right?
but Israel's controlling. Have they called for free elections? No.
Yeah, I think you have to rebuild Gaza first before.
Well, and they're not going to rebuild.
Right.
Stop that. What they're going to do is put it in hotels and things like that and push out the Palestinians. Okay.
I mean, how did that all start?
And that's okay with the U.S., and that's the hypocrisy of the MAGA movement. It's okay to move out one group of people from their country, displace them from their country, kill their women and children with no problem whatsoever. But we need to deal with Iran. Iran is a problem. No, Iran is a distraction.
No,
with respect, it is a distraction.
Iran was close to military grade uranium.
Bullshit. That's a lie.
And
let me prove it to you.
Okay.
Your president, the person that you follow and that you've studied and you've given the benefit of every doubt that is possible, told you that they had dissipated every nuclear capability that Iran had in October of 2025.
Yeah, I didn't believe it. I mean, common sense. We all knew that they did not use the type of munitions
do you have
to get down into the ground.
Other than your friends telling you? What proof do you have other than your friends telling you that they had the capability? You don't. You're trusting some idiot saying that they had the capability. There is no proof. As a matter of fact, there's no proof that they did. But, okay, so when we did what we did in October and we were told that it disappeared, that was a lie. But
Right.
some other idiots who have no proof whatsoever say that that's a lie and that they hate the capability. Look, they did.
Well, the International Atomic Energy Agency says that Iran still has the capability of enriching that uranium if they're able to get
Oh,
to it and
don't
pick
lie.
Cat's
No,
Mountain.
stop, David. They have the capability. Listen to yourself. They have
Yes,
the capability. If they can reach it, they have the capability. But they didn't have it when we invaded in February. That's the whole problem. When we invaded in February, they didn't have the capability. They had the capability if they went underground and retrieved it. I understand that,
sure.
but they hadn't done it. That's one.
Like they hadn't done it that we're aware of. Maybe I don't know. I don't know
No.
as far
Hold
as
it.
that.
Hold it. If they had, knowing Donald Trump and his like for flavor, he would have presented it with that evidence. He never did it because he doesn't have it. So this thing of I think so is what has this country screwed up.
But Jimmy, his claim that we just completely destroyed Iran's nuclear capability. Well, I mean, that was debunked almost immediately after he said it.
By
I
whom?
mean, again, it
By
goes back
whom? By whom?
I believe it was the Department of War. I believe it was the
Oh, come
IAEA.
on. Hold it.
I believe
Hold
it
it.
was our media.
No.
I didn't
First
believe
of
it.
all, are you telling me that the Secretary of War called Donald Trump a liar?
I think our military did say that we did not have that
No,
ability
they
to do
didn't.
that at that time.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
They don't
Maybe I'm
dare.
wrong.
Look at what you're trying to say. You're saying that the military said that what Donald Trump said was a lie.
Yeah.
I never. No, not
They
under.
contradicted the president before. I believe they contradicted the president
No,
on
in
this
the first
particular
time,
matter.
yes.
I know
Pete,
I didn't
no,
believe it.
Pete, that would have never allowed it. Pete has
Okay,
his
then
ass so up the of Donald Trump that he would never allow.
all
But
right, the members of the military, analysts.
analyst is analyzing a point of view. I don't give.
Okay.
The problem that I have is this is the problem that I have with people like MAGA. When he says one thing, they don't believe him. The only way you don't believe him is because he's a liar. But when he says something else, you go out and analyze it and see how you could turn it around and make it look good for you. That's
I mean, Jimmy, you as an attorney, you don't go into court saying, okay, because X said Y, then we should move forward in this direction in this court decision. I mean, there's evidence, there's research, there's corroboration, right? There's corroboration.
And that's why I keep asking you two things.
Yes.
Listen to the first one. Either he lied to us when he said it was a baby. Okay. But you're talking as an attorney, and I'm going to ask you as an attorney. What evidence, other than your feeling,
okay,
do you have concurrently that could, beyond a reasonable doubt, prove that they had a nuclear weapon on February 28th, 2026?
They had the capability of enriching uranium to the point where it was weapon grade.
And right now, and listen to yourself.
And they still have the capability of doing it. Do they have the ability to get to it? That's a different story.
With all due respect,
we need to destroy it? Yes, we do.
That is an opinion. That is not evidence. That's why I'm trying. You're trying to tell me, no, you don't have any evidence that proves that they had it.
The ability
you hear that on the radio, and your friends tell you that, so you can repeat it. But this, no,
Jimmy.
Seriously.
Jimmy, we know where every piece of uranium is on this planet. And we know that Iran has uranium that has not been accounted for. And we are going after it. And we're going to make make Iran accountable for it. They do possess the ability to have weapons grade uranium.
Why don't we do that with North Korea?
What do we do with North Korea? We tell them to shut up, stay over there, take care of
And
your own country, and
and what have
stay
they
out of
told us?
this.
And
And,
what?
and,
No,
and
no,
they have stayed out of this.
no, 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 no. They, you see, you are good at changing the narrative. North Korea has uranium. Can we agree on that?
Yes, they have a bomb as far as I'm concerned, but they've stayed out of this particular issue.
Yeah, but
Show
are they
has
are they a
China,
threat? Are
so
they
has Russia.
okay? Are they a threat to us? Yes, they're more of a
Yes.
threat
So is
than
Pakistan, so is India, so is Israel, so is France, so is Britain, so is Germany, Russia, China, North Korea. They all possess the
a bomb.
ability to, thank
No,
you.
no, they don't have the capability. They have a bomb. You have an opinion that you can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they have
Yeah,
the capability.
good point. I cannot prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Give me some
But
time. I'll do my research.
no, the problem is that you do research on the basis of things that what this is the problem that I have with the internet. Some idiot says something in the internet. You see, it says it there. Well, that doesn't mean that is true.
No,
There's more
no,
lies
I
in
know
the
how to do
internet.
research. I know how to do research, Jimmy. I
Yeah,
know how to
but you know
read
how to do
documents,
research,
Jimmy.
but you do research
And
with
I
people
could
who
beat
are
down anyone who would try to argue differently the research that I've done, because no one, Jimmy, no one will dare sit down with me, and I will challenge anyone who will watch this to sit down with me with my research and try to argue their point against my research. I dare anyone to. This is what I do. I eat shit, sleep this stuff. This is what
I
I do.
know, and I'll
I'm
be
better.
more.
As a matter of
I'll,
fact, I'm more informed. I'm more informed than the Democratic delegation that's in D.C. right now. Guarantee you, Jimmy. I guarantee that.
well, I hope you. I hope you are, but I can tell you one thing:
I know I am. I know I
you're
am.
not going to find any truth on the internet. But you
It's
gotta.
not the internet, Jimmy. Jimmy, it's not just the internet. It's not.
Your friends tell you something and you believe it.
It's more than you. Okay, I'll give you that. It's friends, friends of friends, people that I've gotten to know, people that I've done research and done research into them and have spoken to. So there is a
You want
trail.
to know
There is a paper
something?
trail.
You do research into people that could create an image that they are. The truth of the matter right now is that right now, 75% of this country is against the war of Iran.
Sure.
It's a fact.
That
It's a fact.
doesn't
No,
mean
no,
they're
no. It
right.
doesn't make it right. It's bullshit. 75
No.
it still is 75% of the, and that includes Republicans, and that includes MAGA people. People are hurting because of the cost of the war. That is a fact that cannot be. And people
How bad are they hurting, Jimmy?
before, and this is the strangest part of things, okay? But before the war, over 90% of the people in this country did not feel, listen to this, the way it was put, did not fear that Iran would attack us. The number one country that was on that list was China, Russia, North Korea. Okay. Strangely, for some reason that I never understood, but it is in there. Also, they had listed India because apparently India was pissed off with us. And those were the top four countries. Iran was not even the top 90. They
Until there's a flare up.
well, there was no flare up. That's the whole problem. We don't.
It,
No, wait a minute. Let me
no,
finish.
and I think
We started this
I see
war.
where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this because I got a counter to that. But please
We
finish.
started the war. Yes, they responded. Why can't they? Can I ask you a question? Don't they have the right to respond to our aggressions?
Yes, they sure do. Yes. However, Jimmy, Iran may not have been, according to you,
No country, American people.
wait. Okay. According to these people and their feelings, they may not have been a nuclear threat. However, you cannot deny You cannot deny that Iran is a major, the major, number one sponsor of terror across the globe, from Iran to Venezuela to Gaza to Germany to America to South America to so forth and so on. A major, the major sponsor of terror, trafficking, illicit drug trafficking, also, among other things. Major sponsor of the Muslim Brotherhood, major sponsor of ISIS, Hamas, Hezbollah. You go on and on. They have been disruptors of modern Western society for 47 years. And this shit had to stop.
Wow, you've been indoctrinated in a lot of bullshit.
Jimmy,
First
come
all,
on.
no.
Come on,
Hold
Jimmy.
Hold it. No, hold it. Let me respond to that. First of all, I'm not going to defend Iran.
They killed more Americans through their terror network than anyone.
Where?
Lebanon.
Give me an example. Where have they killed Americans?
Lebanon. Let's start with Lebanon. Let's start with the Marines who were bombed in their barracks in Lebanon. Come on, Jimmy.
You done your research?
This one that really stands out.
No. Well, hold it. You done your research.
October 7th in Gaza.
What? No. You went Lebanon. I'm gonna take.
Okay, yeah, I thought Lebanon because that one kind of hits home for me in the personal way, and it's always stuck in my head. So,
when was Lebanon?
Oh Jesus, 80 something. It was no. Wait a second. Where was I? Was it? It was in the 80s during Reagan's term.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Lebanon was being in a civil war, and it was Gaddafi, for the record. Gaddafi was a Kirk, and was not, as a matter of fact, I don't think you think Gaddafi was a Muslim, for the record, but I might be wrong.
I think so.
They invaded and put 200 Marines next to the airport, and somebody drove in a truck full of explosives and killed 200. But there is no evidence. There is no evidence that was directed by Iran. That was directed by Gaddafi. And before you start saying that Gaddafi was a puppet of Iran, go and read your history.
I didn't say that, Jimmy.
I
didn't say that. And I said that Iran is a sponsor. It's a major sponsor of terror. I didn't say they directed it. I'm saying that
you see, your friends are giving you lies,
sponsor of terror.
and you repeat it. Lebanon had nothing. Lebanon was about 2 years after the revolution.
Wait. Gaddafi was in Libya. I'm talking about Lebanon on the other side.
Okay.
There was no connection.
You're right.
I was just thinking there was no connection.
No. He was sponsoring the fight in Lebanon, is what I'm trying to get to. He was in Libya, but he was sponsoring the war next door. As a matter of fact, he was in war with Lebanon. But that's fine.
Okay. I'll research that.
Okay. And let me prove it to you what I'm trying to say.
Don't forget October 7th. Don't leave that off the table, Jimmy.
October 7th, what year?
2 years ago in Israel. In Israel.
Okay. Hold it. It's kind of interesting. You're going to pick one that you might have a chance. But let me give you some history. Who liberated the hostages? Reagan. The hostages
that was kind of under the table, kind of slimy too. And we know the story about that.
Okay. He liberated them, and that next year, the following year, was the fight in Lebanon. To try to say that from the get-go they had everything under their control is the biggest bullshit. Okay, I'll tell you where I will give them credit. Okay, and I'm going to concede more than you do. They did help finance Hezbollah in Hamas.
Sure.
But,
Yeah.
but,
The Houthis.
wait a minute. But,
Yeah.
before I continue with the Houthis and others, I'm going to call out bullshit. What is the bullshit? Do you think that the only people helping Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis were Iran? You're full of
Oh
shit.
no. At Cuba, at Venezuela, the Sinaloa cartel. Oh, there's a lot more. A lot more.
Oh, at Saudi Arabia, out Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. You know, I'll give you a contingent. Yeah, in Saudi Arabia, even a
Even in
contingent
Qatar.
maybe in the UAE. It may be a contingent. Yeah.
Okay. This is the problem that I have with this, and this is what I call the hypocrisy of the MAGA people. Iran is doing it, but it's not the only player.
It is the major sponsor of
no.
terror
That's
in the world.
that's what your friends keep repeating to you, but they don't have
Oh,
any.
Jimmy, come
But,
on.
no,
Come
come
on,
on.
Jimmy.
No, come on to you. The thing is that, oh, he's a major, he's a minor, so he's okay. You're full of shit. That's my problem. Major,
No,
bad.
Jimmy.
Minor, okay.
No, Jimmy, I'm not saying that.
Well, no, but we're about to get nuclear.
Iran serves
Saudi
an
Arabia
oversized
has some
role.
people there who has been sponsored. As a matter of fact, I'll go a step further because I know people get angry when I say this because you don't want to hear it, and the MAGA people don't want to hear it.
I want to hear it.
Okay, who was a major sponsor of 9/11? Because it wasn't Iran.
No, it wasn't Iran. It wasn't Iraqis. It wasn't Afghanistan. It were a bunch of Saudis, and maybe
Bingo.
two others who were from other countries. And it was Osama bin Laden.
And financially supportive of it, and people from that country. Okay,
Right.
Oh, we forget about that.
No.
The biggest attack to American people, the most people killed by any country is Saudi Arabia. But we don't want to talk about that. We want to say the major sponsor is Iran. The major sponsor is Iran because that's what we're being sold as bullshit. Is Iran a bad country? Definitely. Is it the only bad country in the area? Definitely not. This bullshit, well, they're major. These guys are minors. So we're going to take the minor one. The one that attacked us in 9/11 sponsored the money because the money came out of Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, for those of you who do not know, bin Laden was a citizen of Saudi Arabia.
That's correct. We helped create bin Laden. The United States government has blood on its hands. And I physically protested the war in Afghanistan and Iraq because it was wrong. It was wrong. And we should, like you said, Saudi Arabia harbored the bin Ladens. They harbored the hijackers. And we did not have the political will to deal with the Saudis in that way.
And we still haven't. Okay, let's we didn't and we haven't. My problem is not it's a little bit different from yours. You're trying to say this is the only guy in town who's doing some bad things. My problem is there's about 5 of them. Taking one.
I named them all. The Muslim Brotherhood, the Houthis.
No. I'm talking about 5 countries.
Oh, okay. All right.
In that area that we're giving weapons to.
Yeah.
And all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that it's, this is like saying I have some white head here, so I'm going to color it black here and leave the other one in the other side. Oh, that makes no sense. It doesn't. Right. And what my problem is, if you think that taking out Iran is going to solve your problems, you're full of shit. That's my mistake. If you think that Iran is the only player in the area who is fomenting problems, you're full of shit. Is it the biggest or the smallest? This is the problem that I have with that stupidity.
And Jimmy,
once you take out Iran, then another country is going to become the biggest. So
and Jimmy, you're right. It goes far deeper than just the IRGC and those who want to have this hell-bent journey to their deaths. You're right. It goes far deeper than those individuals who are making decisions for Iran. You're right. It does go far deeper, and that's even the longer conversation because
But
this
you
is
know,
not.
it,
It's not.
it,
It's more than just about. It's more
it,
than just about the IRGC. It's more than just about the the weaponization of the uranium. It's more than just about the uranium one. We're talking about a change in the world order. We're talking about the American system. We're talking about national sovereignty, and we're talking about destroying the rules-based system that has ruled this world for years. Is coming to an end,
I
and
don't think
national sovereignty is
I don't
the
think so.
name of the game
By
right
next
now. I
year,
think so.
by next year, Donald Trump's going to have no power.
It, like I said, the Democrats are not going to have any significant wins to change the outcome of the Senate or Congress. And it's not saying I'm not saying that because I favor the conservatives and Republicans. No, no, it's just that the Democrats are so dysfunctional
Wait a
at
minute.
this time.
What do you consider conservative?
Well, I'm talking about the current, people who are Republicans in the Senate and Congress, and those who are running as Republicans.
Those are not conservatives.
Well, uh, anyone running under the Republican affiliation.
No, a conservative, in truth, in the matter, has no desire to change governments in other countries, has no desires to be in unnecessary wars, has no desires to do things that we're doing. The truth of the matter, a conservative is a very truthful person that does not want corruption, which right now the majority of Donald Trump's family and cabinet are corrupt. They don't want that. They
Throw
want.
Nancy Pelosi into that mix too.
Oh, look, I'm not going to say that because it's not a correct statement to make. I'm saying conservatives do not like that. I'm not. They don't like corruption, and right
No one.
now the people who are in charge, I don't consider them conservatives because they're corrupt. Now, if you want to say Nancy is corrupt, that's fine, but she never defined herself as a conservative. I'm just trying to
Sure.
say what a conservative is. A conservative
Sure.
never would do what they're doing right now. As a matter of fact, my friends who are conservative are up in arms about giving nuclear capability to Saudi Arabia because most of the conservatives don't trust Saudi Arabia. Okay, they don't. The MAGA people who have their ass, their nose up the ass of Donald Trump, whatever he says, they find a way to justify it. That I understand,
I,
but to say that a conservative is what we have in the White House, no, I would. I don't not offend my conservative friends by
no, no. The president is not a conservative. The Trump is Trump. I was speaking of Congress and the Senate, and very quickly to speak to that second point you made about diversifying Saudi Arabia's energy, that they don't need, nuclear energy for civilian use. I think they do, and I support
why.
this deal. Let me get there with the addendum to support the Abraham Accords, and they need to because right now, right today, they are facing threats by the Houthis on the Red Sea, another channel, another choke point that
And
Saudi
how does
Arabia
the
uses.
Abraham
Wait, wait,
Agreement
wait. That Saudi
agree?
Arabia uses to move its oil, and we already have the choke point with the Strait of Hormuz. The countries in the Gulf are finding different methods of moving oil and also diversifying their economies. And so diversifying their energy so that they do not have to rely on moving energy, oil through the Straits of Hormuz, moving helium through the Straits of Hormuz, moving LNG, liquid natural gas, through the Strait of Hormuz or the Red Sea. Pipelines. Deals are being cut all over the place. Iraq. The president of Iraq visited Trump. The next week, there's a deal for a pipeline to move oil through Iraq, and I think into the Mediterranean Sea. I got to look at that a little bit closer. But these countries are finding ways to say, you know something, when it's all done and said, we're done. We're done with trying to deal with Iran in the Straits of Hormuz. 20% of all oil is that supplies the world goes through the straits right now. The strait right now. That may diminish to even lower, depending on what countries are doing in the Gulf and the success of their different projects. So to have the ability to diversify their energy sources and have nuclear energy, clean nuclear energy, the modular nuclear reactors and not the big ones that we know of, why not? And if you want that technology, the United States is going to be involved. Germany, France, England, whoever, they're going to be involved. They're going to be the companies who are going to build it. They're going to be the ones who are going to operate it with their Saudi allies and Saudi workers and Saudi bosses to make sure that is used for civilian uses. And Jimmy, not all nuclear technology uses uranium. There's other sources.
Use other things that could look. With all due respect, you're repeating what your friends have told you, the talking points, and you're very good at it. But let me start from the bottom, not from the beginning. Saudis have never worked in a day in their life. They hire people from India and Pakistan to build for them. So before you say Saudi people,
you made my point, Jimmy. You just made my point.
No,
so let them be Americans.
Slaves.
Hey,
go to HBO and you will see how they turn it.
So you're gonna pay a nuclear operator, slave wages to run your nuclear facilities? I don't think so, Jimmy. Come on.
No.
Come on, Jimmy.
No. The bullshit that you said you will have Saudis building. No. The building will be done by people from other countries who they bring as slaves. They keep them there and they don't let them go back home. Okay, they're famous for that. And that you can go on HBO and others and do your research. Okay. Second of all,
I don't watch HBO.
Second of all, these pipelines will take years to be built. 10 to 15 years. 10 to 15 years.
No, Jimmy, there is a pipeline right now, and I think it's the one in Iraq, or it may be another one that exists right now that has been left off the table for years because there's been so much focus on shipping oil through the strait that is already there.
There is no operating pipeline right now.
No, right. I'm not saying it is operating, but I'm just saying there is a dormant pipeline. I don't know. I can't remember where.
Your MAGA friends tell you it's authorized. It's been authorized for more than 10 years. But it is.
Jimmy, I got this off of CNN.
Huh?
I got this off of CNN. The dormant pipeline.
They didn't say it was operating, and they didn't say it was built.
Dormant.
Authorized.
Dormant.
I saw the same thing. Okay. But be it as it may, you gave some very beautiful talking points that your friends have given you, and you're very good at them.
Thank you.
Let me ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
Everything that came out of your mouth.
Yes, sir.
How does it benefit Saudi Arabia to recognize Israel if they're going to do their pipelines, if they're going to be able to get the nuclear energy, if they're going to be able to get this and that? Why would they? How does that benefit them and make their religious people in Saudi Arabia happy once they sign an agreement recognizing Israel? They're not going to. They have said it in more than one occasion. We know they're not going to sign it. And we know, do you remember The Godfather?
Yes, I do.
Okay, this is Donald Trump, the Godfather. Godfather, do you want me to insist with the Tortellinos that the people that sell drugs have a clean record? Try to convince them, but don't make a stink out of it. That's what, at the end, Donald Trump's going to say, try to convince it. but they've already paid me $3 billion, and they promised me another $3 billion when I signed the agreement. Don't. That's something he's saying to make people like you happy, but we all know it's not going to happen. Look,
Sure.
for years, the first 4 years, he tried to convince the Saudis. They did not. He went there. He talked to them, and they said no. He talked to them again, and they said no.
So he just gives up?
Yeah. Because right now, with all due respect, right now, the relationships between the U.S. and Israel in the next 2 months are going to change significantly. It's going to be.
I think Trump is more popular than Netanyahu is in Israel. I think Trump is more popular amongst the Israeli people than Netanyahu is.
Well, that's the bullshit that you've been sold. I'm not sure. I'm going to put it in another way. I'm not sure. I've heard that bullshit, but I'm not sure that's true. That's one of those things that I hear it. Can I prove it to be true? No, I don't.
Right.
So,
I have to agree. I have no evidence of that. It's just been spoken. But
and one thing that we do know is that Netanyahu is very unpopular in Israel right now.
We do know that.
Okay, that's a fact.
We do.
So the chances of him losing are immense. And by the way, just so we know, about 3 months ago, there was a vice president of some country who went to Hungary and endorsed the presidential candidate, thinking that Trump was as popular or more popular than that same bullshit that you came up with.
Orban.
And he went down.
Wasn't he replaced by someone who was just as tough on some policy issues as Orban was?
Yeah, but not as corrupt.
Okay. Yeah, Orban did take care of himself.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Okay. So I'm sorry. He lost. See, he did not lose because one was tougher than the other. Corrupt, somebody who don't have a track record that he's corrupt. This guy won. But the thing is that when people tell me, no, but Trump is popular all around the world. Bullshit. We do know that Vance went there. He put him on a speakerphone. He said, and he endorsed him, and he lost me. Sure. So let's. So if you're thinking, well, Trump is going to endorse Netanyahu, and Netanyahu's going to win, nah, you're full of shit. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that, and I think that the relationship between
right now, there was a time he was popular. This war has split up that country more than we are. Okay, I'm sorry. There are Israelis who are very unhappy the way that their government has dealt with Gaza. When we talk about what people call anti-Semitism, which I find interesting because I call it anti-Netanyahu or anti some things that have happened in Gaza that even people in Israel are not happy with, that's not anti-Semitism. That is saying, hey, you fucked up. Okay? Just because you're Jewish or the Jewish state and saying that you fucked up doesn't make a person anti-Semitism. Just like it doesn't make a person who says that Donald Trump is a liar and he's fucking up this country anti-American. It doesn't. It is what I call freedom of speech. Now, some people disagree with that fact, but that's fine. But right now you have people in the right and in the left pushing against Israel. And that is true. And it is true to a certain point.
But Jimmy, however, my Jewish friends are very, very concerned that the Democratic Party has become increasingly anti-Semitic.
Well, and your Jewish friends do not understand how this works.
They're pretty involved in worldly. They are very involved.
And my friends, you know what they tell me?
What's that?
That right now they're afraid of the United States abandoning Israel. They're and mostly the Republicans. And
the Democrats voted in mass to not support Israel. They should be more concerned about.
Whoa.
Come
You
on,
want
Jimmy. They just had a vote.
a vote on
They
what?
bailed on Israel.
Yes.
My friends are like, they're done. They're done with the Democrats, and they were lifelong Democrats, Jimmy.
Okay.
They're like,
Wait a
what
minute.
has happened to our party?
And nothing. Nothing has happened. The problem is that this is the stupidity of some people out there. Okay. So should I say because the Republican Party has underfunded Puerto Rico for the last 2 years and has refused to send federal funds to Puerto Rico in certain areas that the Republicans are anti-Puerto Ricans? No, I think they're just plain stupid. But that's beside
Mhm.
that they question certain things the government is doing in Puerto Rico. That's legit. Democrats have said that as long as Netanyahu is in charge, they are not going to be funding their war machine. They've said that. And
Mm,
there's a lot of Americans who agree with that.
it's more than that, Jimmy.
No,
It's
no,
more
no.
than
It's more than the bullshit that people have created.
no.
But
There
look,
are folks. There are folks in the Democratic Party who are outright um, very, very vocal about their dislike for Israel and
no,
by
no, no,
extension
no, no,
dislike
no, no.
for
Don't change
the
the subject.
Jewish nation.
No, yes, there are some. But let me ask you a question.
They're running for office and winning under the
New York,
Democratic label.
yeah, and
They're
then
they're your most popular, influencers, spokespeople. Piker
influencers,
Hassan or Hassan Piker, whatever that clown's name is.
with all due respect, that's less than 1% of the party. But the Republicans, because they want to distract us, they want to make it into the 100%. This was less than 1% of the whole party. But and it's good politics what the MAGA people are doing. They're not stupid, but they are corrupted, crooked, but they're good. I'm not going to underestimate them. But this is the part that I don't understand. Morgan Pierce, conservative. Megyn Kelly, conservative. Okay. Tucker Carlson,
Yep.
conservative. Now I can keep on going. Okay.
Yep.
In these people, I would never question their conservatism. Okay.
Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon, and I can keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to ask you one question. Have you ever heard Steve Miller talk about Israel?
He's Jewish, yeah.
Yeah. No. Have you ever heard him talk about Israel?
Yes.
No, he's never talked about Israel.
Wait, Steve Miller, the
Talks
deputy.
about immigration, but not about Israel.
No. He's made a comment specifically about the Democratic Party and their anti-Semitism.
Yes, because it favors him. But he's never said anything pro-Israel. Everybody assumes that because he's Jewish, he is pro-Israel.
Okay.
Nobody knows. Now, for the record, what is Steve Bannon?
Steve Bannon, I don't know. I really don't follow him. I just know that him, MTG.
What I'm trying to say is, since you want to bring influencers,
yeah, and then I want to address the ones that you brought up, Jimmy, because it's when you brought up, we brought up Bannon, we brought up, let's add MTG to that. Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson. It's funny that those individuals are persona non grata within the MAGA movement. They're not part of that anymore.
No. You're right. But
they have been
banished.
They have been banished.
No, they're not banished.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are, Jimmy.
No, they're from your friends may banish them, but your friends are not the complete MAGA movement. That's what I'm trying to get to.
I think the people who matter in MAGA. I think the people who matter in MAGA would say that those folks are no longer part of the movement.
Who matters in MAGA? Tell me who?
Who?
Yeah,
they're the base for the Republican Party.
Yes, they are the base. I'll accept that. But who talks for MAGA?
Who talks for MAGA?
Nobody.
It's not those guys.
Oh, who started MAGA?
Trump.
No. Trump
Uh,
took advantage of MAGA.
right. And now he is MAGA.
Yes.
He is MAGA.
And by the way, you forgot Buffett, you forgot Marx, who are not, and you forgot Green.
No, I say MTG. I said MTG, and
Okay.
she's been banished. She's been tossed
She's
aside.
not banished. They don't have the
She's no
power.
longer a congresswoman, Jimmy. And she,
Because she quit. Because she
and
couldn't
you
put up
want to
with
know
the-
why? Because one, she did not support the president's agenda, and he has every right to say, you're done. You're not part of this movement. Hey, that's his prerogative. And she speaks out on stuff that, is one, not part of the larger agenda. If she wants to harp on the Epstein files, do that. If Trump was a big issue and a culprit, a criminal in the Epstein files, don't you think that should have came out when Biden was president? Or that would have came out a long time ago when Trump was running for president the first time? Why have the Democrats use it? I don't know.
Because you don't understand history.
Okay. What am I missing?
First of all, when was he arrested?
Oh, geez. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, my God.
Under Trump's presidency.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. At the end of it, he killed himself during Biden's presidency. You are correct. But who promised to release the records? Biden never promised that. Biden never made an issue of it.
Okay.
That's why you guys are so full of shit. Well, why didn't Biden release it? Because nobody asked them to. But
no, I'm talking specifically.
Who campaigned saying that he was going to release them and then refused
Trump
to?
did.
They had to pass a law in the House and the Senate forcing him to do that. Okay.
Okay.
So don't give me that bullshit that why didn't they? Biden
No,
never
I'm saying not the files. I'm saying, why didn't the Democrats go after Trump day one when he was running against Hillary and release the files? Obama
because
had
they
the
didn't have
opportunity.
them. You're not listening. You're just repeating what the bullshit they give you.
Well, okay, let's go back to
Okay.
Biden had the opportunity to
in 2016. Who was the president? Obama. Was Epstein arrested in 2016? No.
But was he prosecuted as a sex offender prior to 2016?
Yes.
Didn't the Miami Herald do an extensive expose?
And everybody knew about
this guy.
Look, this is the guy. Wait a minute. This is the guy that American.
So where does it implicate Trump? Where where's the evidence that Trump was so bad, so badly tied to this guy that he should not be president?
This is the problem that you have. Your friends are putting false information to your brains, and let me take it out. First of all, Obama was president, and he was being investigated, and they had all that information. It came out during Hillary's campaign. It came out that he could grab their pussies. And everybody thought that would kill him, and it didn't. It came out that he had sexually harassed many women. Everybody knew that. It didn't kill him. He got elected. So did people know he was a pervert? Yes. Do MAGA's people know he's a pervert? Yes. Do they care? No. Do they know he's a liar? No. Now, the problem that you people try to lie about, and this is Epstein this, why didn't Hillary do this? Why didn't Biden do this? Because you can't affront the truth. Donald Trump campaigned in 2024 that he was going to release the Epstein files, and he did not. Congress passed the law.
Okay.
And forced him to do it.
Okay. And what was the outcome?
Congress forced him to do so.
And what was the outcome of
it? To this day, there are more than 800,000 documents that have not been released by the Department of Justice, and Tom Blanche admitted that during his confirmation. So let's stop pretending that this is a Democrat issue, because if anybody tells me that, I'm going to tell you you're full of shit.
There's mostly Democrats who showed up in that file.
And who gives a shit who shows up in that file if it's a Democrat.
You
Look,
guys do, Jimmy. You guys
no, we
do.
don't. We're in a new era. Look, everybody knows that Donald Trump is a sexual pervert. Everybody knows he's corrupt, and he still got elected. So let's stop pretending that
Right.
that people think that Donald Trump has a moral man. Nobody thinks that.
Nobody thinks that. Democrats weren't able to make their case.
No, they were not able to make their case. The problem was that we had a flawed candidate. I'm going to call it out.
Which one?
He lost in 2020 because at that time, Donald Trump was a flawed candidate. He lost to Biden. This was a flawed candidate. Harris lost to it because she was a flawed candidate. And I'll admit that. But the thing is that trying to pretend this bullshit of MAGA and the lies from MAGA, no, why didn't they do it? Everybody knew he was a sexual pervert. God, we have the bus where he told Billy Bush that he grabbed their pussies and they let him.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
And they still elected him. So saying, well, they didn't do a good job? Oh, give me a break. The truth of the matter is that basically there's still 800,000 documents that have not been released. And we do know that those that have been released, that Donald Trump was a close friend of Epstein, as well as Bill Clinton, before you tell me that.
Right. And wasn't it Donald Trump?
So was Prince Andrews. At least England had the cojones to take care of it. We don't.
And wasn't it Donald Trump who gave evidence against Epstein that led to his conviction?
No. He gave evidence, but not necessarily led to his conviction.
Okay.
What he did is he complained that Epstein was stealing his employees. That was
okay. That's true. That's true. Epstein was bad for business.
So that's why I say no.
Okay.
There was a young lady who filed a complaint against him.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, okay. I have to give credit. Well, but let's get this ready because we're going an hour and a half.
Oh, yes. Oh, my marathon. Okay, Jimmy, let's wrap it up. What you got for us?
Fuck up of the week. It's going to be very simple. President decided to have a press conference. Did he talk about the inflation? No. Did he talk about the war in Iran? Briefly. Did he talk about his plan to help your pocketbook? Not at all. He used that time to bitch and complain again about the 2020 election. And he submitted evidence that we already had seen that really doesn't prove that there is any evidence of any stealing any elections. But the fuck up is not that. He had a golden opportunity to try to convince the American people why we are in Iran, why we need $70 billion more of money to continue the war in Iran, to tell us what he's going to do to bring down the prices of gasoline and other products that are flying down. What is his plan that he promised to bring food prices down day one when they're up almost 60%? No, that was his fuck up. Democrats, you're a fuck up. It's kind of simpler, but it's the same one. Do not rely on Donald Trump fucking up to win the race. You have to run your race individually. All politics are local. I'm predicting that Georgia will re-elect Offset. I'm going to predict that Susan Collins loses in Maine. I'm going to predict that Brown comes back in Ohio. I'm going to predict that in the state of Michigan, we have a new Democrat senator. I am going to predict that if you play your cards right, it will be a 50-50. And with a 50-50, even with the vice president using his vote to untie certain things, you would be able to force the Republicans to negotiate for the well-being of the United States. They will not have a majority, and with the rebels that you have within your party, you might not even have a majority to undo the filibuster rule. Democrats, all politics are local. I really, really believe that you can win in Maine, you can win in Georgia, you can win in Nevada, and you can win in Ohio. And if that happens, you might turn around this election. And with that, subscribe. Next week, we'll have less discussion and we'll take your comments because we didn't have time to take your comments today. Subscribe, like, unlike, say whatever you want, and we will be able to talk to you. With that in mind, I will see you next week. Take care.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Bye-bye.
We'll see you next time.
Okay.